Hello everybody and welcome along to Aor PS4 Formula 8 tier live from the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza for round 13 of the F8 series. Brings us to Italy for the Italian Grand Prix. Can you believe that we are 13 rounds in and only 7 rounds remain, including this one? The championship is coming to its climax very shortly, but it's not over at all by any means yet. Washi leads the points after the last round in Belgium. He won the race after a couple of rounds of a bit of bad luck there, here and there, but he won Belgium and is now 26 points ahead of his nearest rival, McQuiz. So he has a race win in hand. He can afford a non-finish, but he can't afford too many of them. McQuiz lies second in the championship, the man who is challenging Washi for that championship this season. So he's going to be looking to make sure that he closes that gap back up, because we're in for a serious title fight here in F8. Then we have Denzamo, the man who's been the most consistent this season. He has, well, one of the most consistent this season, and he's only had one finish outside the top 5 this season, so he's in third in the championship, of 37 points behind McQuiz, so he's pretty much settled in that third position. But he will have this man, David Ben, for company. These guys are fighting nip and tongue for that third position in the championship, and that is going to continue this season, of course. Ben and I believe it'll be, Buffon, two of them here today. The Tifosi are out in force for the Ferrari drivers as they will attempt to reclaim some glory this season. David Ben taking one victory in Silverstone at his home Grand Prix, but can the Tifosi have something to cheer about when their boys potentially win this race? David Ben sets them alight straight away. He goes top of the timing sheet with a 1:23.089, so that'll keep the Tifosi happy for a little while. But we're going to see if we can find a lap on board with one of the guys, and there's McQuiz just smashing it straight away, and Washi goes even quicker on a 1:21.982. And the Tifosi will be happy enough with that, because of course Scuderia Toro Rosso are a home team as well. They took one victory here in 2007 at the hands of Sebastian Vettel. Then we have Ian popping into 4th there in the Renault, Ghost Hunter in P5 there, Dyson in P6, the new Force India driver, Stewart in P8. Currently these guys have not set lap times yet, but Washi straight away popping it to the top of the timing sheets on a 1:21.9. So very little between them. We can just see they're all on super softs apart from Zek, and if we can just get up the gaps if possible here. I'm just trying to find the gaps if possible. No, can't quite find it, but yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, there you go. It is Washi leading the timings at the moment on a 1:21.982. McQuiz P2 with Denzamo just popping into P2, with P4 going to Buffon in the Ferrari. So he's already 7/10 of a second quicker than his teammate. So good showing from Buffon there with the black and gold helmet. There's David Ben returning to the pits there. Ian and Washi again with a 1:21.7. So he's looking very comfortable here in Italy. So let's see if McQuiz can respond at all. He's back in the pits for presumably a fresh set of tyres. But look at the gap between Denzamo and Washi. It's almost half a second. It is exactly half a second. So can Denzamo get any closer is the question. So the guys who have not set times as of yet, well, Kalidemis is out. Zek, what can he do? He's the only man on soft tyres, so he's the man going for a different strategy to the rest of them. So let's see what he can do. Led the race back in Belgium, had a massive accident in Blanchimont, and there was definitely potential for a podium there. So let's see what Zek can do. He's going to pop into 9th provisionally. So is anybody else? I have to say, Ian's pace looking impressive right now. P5, and he's slightly ahead of James Boniface there. But let's see, this could be a very impressive showing from Ian today. Let's keep an eye on him. A couple of drivers still yet to set laps. Noodle, Jason, Seika, and the hot favourite tip for today is Hoink there. Let's see how he gets on. Washi is just letting Ian through. It's right on board with Ian as he goes through the Ascari. He's gone on an in lap, it looks like. So let's wait and see for a couple of drivers to come out. If we can get an onboard lap with some of them, then that would be fantastic. Very, very, very famous circuit, this Monza circuit. It is one of the only tracks, the only other track is Silverstone, or the British Grand Prix is one of the only Grand Prix to be held every year since the year 1950 when Formula 1 Championship began. So it is a very, very special circuit to most drivers. It is synonymous with Formula 1. It is pretty much the Colosseum of Formula 1. Of course, back in the old days, the Monza circuit was completely different. It used to run a banking, a very, 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 it was about a 45-degree angle of a banking, which is in disrepair, unfortunately, now, but it used to run down the front straight away here, and it would go off to the right-hand side. You may be able to see it on the right-hand side as we run aboard with Stuart. You'll just see it tip off to the left there, on the right-hand side there, that railing on your right. So we're going on board with Stuart as he goes for a lap around Monza into the Rettifilio. Gets it all out of shape on the way out, but a good exit from him in the end. Go through Curva Grande. A long right-hander, no problem at all for these cars. Before we head to the second chicane here, underneath the Pirelli board here. Hard on the brakes, look for the apex, clips the two sausage curbs, and then heads towards the first of the two Lesmos. Good power application from Stuart there, and into Lesmo 2 here, before we head down the back straight towards Ascari as he gets all out of shape and hits the wall, and that's it for his lap then. We just see Danny OUK on his out lap, also going for the soft tyres to set his lap on. So a couple of drivers trying different things. So out on track right now, 3 minutes remain. Washi not out. McQuiz back out on track, as Stewart looks like he has binned it somewhere, and yes, he has on the exit of that's the Ascari section that'll be there. So a very easy place to drop it. But this is the man we're going to be watching. He's got 0.3 of a second to find, but if anyone can find 0.3, it's McQuiz. He has been the master of qualifying so far this season, apart from when we had Wild Ditto back in the first part of the season, taking every single pole position there was to have before it all changed and he moved to F7. Here we go then, on board with McQuiz, the Estonian turned commentator in the F2 league alongside Ian, the two guys commentating on the Formula 2 league. We're back here in F8 where the two guys are racing each other. So down towards the Rettifilio, maxing out already. He's got massive amounts, so he's so little downforce on it. So down on the brakes, into the Rettifilio, down to second gear, clip the apex, and nice and easy on the power. And Washi is out on track as well, so let's see how they get on. Through Curva Grande. Looking very good so far. Before we get into the Pirelli board, and hard on the brakes for McQuiz. Nice hit of the apex, clouts the sausage curbs. Those are the apex for these cars. And then we go to Lesmo 1 on board of the Mercedes. Looking very good so far. Nice application of power. Hardly ever off the throttle, split seconds. But that's what it takes in Formula 1. Down towards Ascari. Let's see how it takes Ascari. It's spectacular in these cars. Fifth gear, run it out to the curb. Very nicely done. Absolute inch perfect from McQuiz there. Before we head down to Parabolica. Let's see what he can do. Can he go pole position? Can he get another one to add to his tally and help on his road to the championship, or fight for the championship at least, because he's got to get in front of Washi. And he goes across that. Yes, he does. 1:21.5, 0.2 of a second quicker. David Ben is in third now. We missed him going into third, but what a great lap that is from him. So your provisional lineup so far is McQuiz, Washi, David Ben, Benzama, Buffon, who has gone off in front of the Tifosi. They're not going to be happy with that. Jason, Ian, Boniface, Ghost, Seika, Zek, Danny OK, Dyson and Hoink. Let's keep an eye on his... Oh, there's contact! What on earth has gone on here? The Haas and Red Bull have come to blows, and that is going to be it for Hoink. He's going to have to start from the back of the grid. Now that is interesting. Now, on board with your championship leader. as he goes for a lap and see if he can beat the man on provisional pole position. Look at that, was amazing on the brakes. So committed. Late on the brakes as ever. And here we go then. And David Ben is not far off. He's improved another little bit there to a 121.9. So do not discount David Ben. McQuiz, I think, has backed out. He's heading for the pit lane. So Washi on board. He's only slightly down on his previous best. He's going through Lesmo right now. Down the... past the Seraglio and down to Ascari. McQuiz is in the pit lane. He's slightly up, but he needs to find 2/10 in the last sector. You can just see the top left of his display there on his steering wheel. 11 hundredths of a second up. Boniface goes to a 122.0 and goes 4th. Denzamo is only 5th right now. So, keeping on board with Washi. Can he get a pole position and beat McQuiz for the first time in a long time in qualifying? He's going to come across the line and he cannot do it, but he does do it. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong person. Washi pops it into pole position, 121.3, and he has taken pole position for Scuderia Toro Rosso at their home Grand Prix. What a story that is. Washi takes pole position for the first time in a long time off McQuiz, but McQuiz will start on the front row and you will have the inside line running into the Rettifilio. Washi takes pole position and McQuiz P2, David Ben P3 for Scuderia Ferrari. The Tifosi are going to be very happy with that. Boniface finds some pace, gets P4. Denzamo only P5, Buffon P6, Jason P7, Ian in 8th, Ghost Hunter in P9, Seika P10. Outside your top 10 are going to be Zek, Daniel UK, Dyson, Noodle, Caddy Damus, and Hoink. But what a great lap that was from Wash. He pulled it out of the bag when he needed to. He found, that must have been a mega final sector. He found 1100th in the second, but this sector alone must have been the deciding factor. His run through the Parabolica must have been absolutely flawless. I was looking at McQuiz's time and I completely, for some reason, did not process that Washi had just got pole position, but what a lap. And now we just have to wait for the race to begin. This is going to turn out to be an interesting one. Can Washi extend his championship lead, or will McQuiz bring it back down again? The lowest it's been this season has been 16 points. Washi got it back up to 26 last time. Meanwhile, in your constructors, we're going to have a look. I think Scuderia Toro Rosso are top of that at the moment on a score of 345 points. Mercedes in P2 with Ferrari in P3. So we'll keep an eye on that. So there is your confirmation. 1/10 of a second was all it was in the end. Washi takes pole position versus McQuiz on P2. David Ben P3. Boniface P4. Top 6 separated by 1 second. So there's outside there Jason, Ian, Ghost Hunter, Seika, Zek, the only man to set the lap on the soft tyres, but doesn't matter because he'll have free choice. Danny Oyuke, Dyson, Noodle, Caddy Davis, and Hoink. A field of 16 drivers will take to the track for round 13 of the F8 series. So we welcome you along to the race then. It is race day here in Monza. The crowd are out in force. The Tifosi especially are out in force to see how Toro Rosso and Scuderia Ferrari get on. Toro Rosso they see as the mini Ferrari because it is developed not too far away from where Ferrari is housed as well. So the championship battle, 26 points separate your top two in the championship. Will it come down or will it go up? Can Washi wrap up the title in the next couple of races? It's all to play for. So we're surely in for a fantastic title fight in this last quarter of the season. And so, with 5 seconds left, grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go racing in Monza. And we go to 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. McQuiz gets away very well. He's already ahead of Washi going towards the Rettifilo. It was a bad start from Washi. McQuiz surges into the lead. Boniface looking past the Ferrari. 3 wide going into the Rettifilo. And there's been contact between McQuiz and Boniface. He's dived down the inside and taken second place away. They're squeezing each other left, right and centre. Washi makes it through. Boniface gets into P3. What a start for the McLaren. David Ben in P4. Denzamo P5. Ghost Hunter stunning start trying to go around the outside of Buffon through the Curva Grande, as we see here, running down towards the second chicane. Will he get that move done? Let's see if he can. I think he will, because Buffon has locked up and gone straight on. They've all got through unscathed as far as we can see. McQuiz, what a start, hooked it up when he needed to and takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. McQuiz P1, Washi P2 and Boniface P3 with an astounding start, with probably one of the ballsiest moves I've ever seen. Is the Rettifilo. Looks like he's got wing damage on the left hand side. He's going to be vulnerable to David Ben towards Ascari. He's going to look into Ascari down the inside for the Ferrari. The Tifosi go wild, can't do it. Contact in the background between Ghost and Denzamo, and he sends him around at the start of Ascari, and he's going to lose all those positions, and that is a real shame. Seika up to P6, so the biggest mover so far. There's your position changes. And up ahead, there is a move between Boniface and David Ben. He has got ahead back into P3 where he started. McQuiz is setting the boards alight. He's managed to pull a 2.1 second advantage over the man in first position, a man in second, excuse me, Washi. Buffon, your first stopper of the day. Let's see, it should be wing damage for that, and a couple of guys are getting penalties for all that. Hoink started down at the back of the grid and he's already into the points, so a great start. He's on the alternate strategy of the soft tyres, a couple of guys on the medium tyres as well, so a couple of interesting strategy calls. We've got a nice little train here between Hoink, Ian, Seika and Caddy Damas as well, up to 6th from 14th on the grid. So now we're riding on board on the Red Bull as he tries to get past Ian into Lesmo 1. He thinks better of it. DRS not enabled just yet. It will be enabled on lap 3 as it always is. So Hoink looking for a way past. Ian is starting to challenge Seika. He's pulling alongside down to the Cerviglio, down towards Ascari. They'll go underneath the banking. Can Ian try it round the outside? He's already ahead as he go to Ascari. So he's got ahead of the Haas, but he's run a bit deep. No, he's got away with that one, has Ian. So Hoink is now going to be the next guy lining up the Haas as they run down towards Parabolica. He's already alongside. Will Seika do anything about it? Will he try to defend? He'll have to go around the outside of Parabolica if he wants to try it, and he does do so. So a nice move from Hoink there. Meanwhile, Denzamo on Boniface down towards the Rettifilo. He's going to pull to the inside and try to make up the position. Down the inside for the Toro Rosso. Tifosi are standing on their feet, but Boniface very well defending there and gets and holds on to that position versus Denzamo then. So through the Curva Grande, he's going to have to hang back and wait. So here comes the Scuderia Toro Rosso. Will he try it into the second chicane? No, he will not. Hoink has made that position up on Ian, just past the Curva Grande there. So keeping an eye on Denzamo then. Just up front as well, the gap came down quite significantly, so there was a mistake from McQuiz somewhere there. DRS enabled this lap, so here comes Denzamo on the McLaren towards Ascari. Surely he has that move done already. He'll pull in front. Will Boniface try to hold on? No, and into P4 goes Denzamo. So then, Ian has just got passed by Hoink, and further down the field, a couple of drivers on medium tyres. We've got Daniel UK running around on those mediums and Noodle on those medium tyres as well. They may be trying to go to the end on that set. So they got 1.3 now. So there hasn't been a problem from a quiz somewhere. He doesn't seem to have damage. But they're pretty much as they were. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. And it's briefly withdrawn from us there. But this is the biggest mover. Let's see how much he's moved since we've started. we're going to have the detail of the position change. He's up 9 positions as well as Hoink, so these guys have made huge gains in this first part of the race. As Ghost Hunter makes a move on Dyson, that'll be down into the Rettifilio, so into the points. And yeah, McQuiz is he's struggling, it looks like, on the tyres. Washi really reeling him in now. So let's see how this one unfolds. 4 laps into this 27 lap race, he's almost back within DRS range. Now, of course, this will also benefit David Ben. If these guys start to battle, then he can also close in, and the Tifosi, of course, will love that. Denzamo's 1.5 adrift of David Ben. And look at that, Washi within 9/10 of a second. I'm not sure what's going on. And there is our first time penalty of the day. It's got another yellow flag in Sector 2. It looks like it's just for people slowing down. As we see, Hoink is also closing in on Caddy Damas, so we can go back to that. There's no DRS on this straight, but battle up front getting very tasty indeed. There is across the line. Yeah, David Ben is closing in really rapidly on these guys. There's almost a 4-way. These guys are all within pretty much 4 seconds of each other. There's McQuiz, Washi, David Ben, and Denzamo all in the one shot here in the Italian Grand Prix. Mercedes, Scuderia Toro Rosso, Scuderia Ferrari, Scuderia Toro Rosso. So all the Italian teams are stuck behind this German piece of engineering. So let's see how this one unfolds today. 5 laps in. Guys, we're saying one stop is marginal. If we switch to the soft tyres later on, you're going to end up close to that puncture area. So you want to be careful how hard you push the tyres. So you're going to be looking to go as long as possible on these super softs. Got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Check who that is for. That is for Danny OUK, who was spun at the Rettifilio. Meanwhile, Hunk's had a problem as well as Lesmo 1. So Ian has had to back off, and he's just going to let him through there. So he'll get back past. And look at David Ben's closing in. He's almost within DRS range of Washi. So this is turning out to be very interesting. So McQuiz got that gap back up to 1.3. But now Washi is within the clutches of David Ben. David Ben is within DRS range. So will he have DRS is the question. I don't think he will, because the detection point it's just before Parabolica. So he wasn't 1 second ahead at that, or behind at that point, but he is now. This is the closest we've seen the top 4 in a long time, so probably since Monaco, that this field was this close together on the opening laps. Seika makes his pit stop. So the Tifosi are very much liking this. They like to see their man closing in, although David Ben did lose quite a bit of time there, because he's now in the clutches of Denzamo. So the guys are going in and out between DRS activation points, but Denzamo's going to be the one with DRS this time. And there is the rear wing flap opening up. I don't think the run down to Ascari is long enough for it to have much effect, but it will allow him to close up and line him up for a pass into turn 1. So riding on board with Denzamo as he closes in on David Ben, you'll have the benefit of the slipstream down towards Parabolica here. So up into Rich Mix and try and get the best exit he can out of Parabolica. David Ben got a good exit there, but he will have DRS, will Denzamo, and it is a very long run down to turn 1. No DRS for David Ben, but coming towards turn 1, is he close enough? I don't think he's going to be, unless he's going to try a dive bomb into turn 1. No, he's going to hang behind. Be sensible. But yeah, David Ben 1.1 behind. So it's getting very interesting. So here comes Denzamo, lap 7 of 27. 20-ish laps to go. And these guys are battling away for the race win already. McQuiz is a 1.5 clear at the front. Only just holding that gap. He's keeping Washi at arm's length. Keep him away from the DRS. David Ben will have DRS this time. So he's got back within that 1 second margin. And this is crucial that Washi stays ahead of these guys. He wants to minimise the points loss if McQuiz were to win this race. Oh, a mistake from David Ben as Denzamo will go through and take P3. So, not sure what happened to David Ben there, but he'll have to try and get back. He's try and remain within DRS range. Activation point is that white line that you saw right there. He will have DRS. And I'm going to be interested to see if Denzamo is going to play the team game here and keep, or will not pass. But Washi, within a second. So, there it is. David Ben maxing out down the straight, but he will remain within the range of Denzamo. It's not a big deal, but Washi is within DRS range of McQuiz on lap 8. And let's see how this one goes. Mercedes leads Toro Rosso, leads Ferrari. I think we might be able to see a move for 11th place as Jason is trying to pass Danny Oyuke into the parabolic. That'll be a nice move. If he can get that done, yes he can. Medium tyres on soft tyres. And, well, he's going to have to out-drag the Williams. He's got DRS. But look, there's good straight line speed for Daniel Oyuke there. He's going to try and hold it to the outside of the Rettifilio. So let's see if he can make this. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. Not going to work. Contact made. And Jason gets through. And Noodle is out. He's done the exact same thing he did in qualifying. He's crashed at the exit of Ascari. And that is it for his race. First retirement of the day. The gap's evened out between all of these guys. David Ben has lapped his teammate. So the gaps are hovering around that area of being just outside DRS range. But Washi is trying his hardest to catch up to McQuiz, but he's at that range where dirty air starts to take effect and he starts to drop back again. And you just saw there that the left front on his car was, well, you can see the left front is starting to blister. So let's see. Boniface is first to make his stop. He's going to make a wing change and go into the soft tyres. And let's see how far he's able to go later on. A couple of drivers making pit stops. Ian is in for his stop. And he's going to go onto the medium tyres, it looks like. Well, no, soft tyres. And Ghost onto soft tyres as well. It looks like the go-to strategy. David Ben dropping back. Looks like is he suffering from wing damage? Nope. So 15 drivers still running in this race. McQuiz holding that gap very well. But now these guys have got to be thinking strategy. When am I going to come in? Will the undercut work? Will the overcut work? You can see how much Washi is closing in with the amount of wing he's running. He's just able to close right in on McQuiz down the straights. He's within DRS range now, but will you have DRS is the question. Let's watch as he comes across the line, and Zek is our next retirement, and he has parked it at the exit of Lesmo 2, and that's it. Meanwhile, up front, Washi closing in. He's closer than he has been the last time, and Denzamo has made his stop. So interestingly, it's Denzamo who gets the first of the stops for the Scuderia Toro Rosso team. He goes into the soft tyres. Washi is going to be next for that stop. So I have to assume that the dirty air is starting to affect his tyres and his tyre wear. And this has promoted Caddy Dames and Hoing into P4 and 5 respectively, which is astounding for where they started. And looks like it was a mistake for Washi there. He's dropped 1.5 behind now, so maybe just hanging back. A tyre wear really affecting there. The understeer he got through Lesmo 2 there. And David Ben 3.1 behind, 2.8 now. Closing in on these guys. These guys are pretty much where they started, 1, 2 and 3. Who's going to come in first? Denzamo was the first to make the jump to the soft tyres. But let's see. We have 17 laps remaining of this 27 lap Grand Prix. And the gap is now 2 seconds between Washi and McQuiz. So I would have to assume Washi is surely coming in this lap. You can see how much he's struggling. Keeping to the right hand side. McQuiz in for his stop. Washi in. David Ben is going to come in as well. Calidamus may or may not come in. But let's see. if he will take the lead. Hoink will probably stay out because he is on soft tyres. He started on soft tyres, so maybe he'll take the lead in the Grand Prix. Washi onto softs. McQuiz onto softs. David Ben onto softs. It's the battle of the pit stops. So who's going to come out? Washi comes out behind McQuiz. Caddy Damus leads the Italian Grand Prix. So he started 14th, now into the lead. Hoink into 3rd. And interestingly, he's got in front of Washi, and Denzamo has jumped Washi in the pit stop phase. So that was an incredible outlap from Denzamo to get in front of his teammate. So there is the story of the day then. McQuiz essentially in the lead of this Grand Prix. Hoink in P2 currently. Denzamo will be in P3. Washi now in P4. So there is a move there between Denzamo and Hoink. Down the inside into Lesmo 1 and gets the move done. Hoink is on old soft tyres. But Caddy Damus, it's been a while since he's led a Grand Prix. Last Grand Prix he led was back in round 1 in Australia. So he's just trying to maybe put on a little bit of a show. And we could see him move down further down in 10th shortly for the points. So Washi and Denzamo together. And Denzamo is 1.9 behind McQuiz. So Caddy Damus, is he going to come in? No, he's going to remain out and lead the Italian Grand Prix for another lap. But the battle for the lead is here between McQuiz, Denzamo, Washi. And Hoink is in there. David Ben is behind him. So everybody apart from Caddy Damus has switched to the harder compound tyres of the softs and mediums. Just looking down to 10th here. Ghost Hunter lining up Ian as Ian goes massively wide at the Parabolica. And into 10th will go Ghost. So McQuiz has got a car wedged in between himself and Washi. That is, well, his teammate. Well, the Toro Rossos are wedged in between him. But I would have to assume that Denzamo will play the team game here. Then again, we don't like to see team orders, but let's see how this goes. And Hoink lets David Ben through into 5th. Or what is essentially 4th in this Grand Prix. Jason and Dyson close together here into the 2nd chicane. Dyson looks like he's struggling on those tyres. Let's see if Jason can make a move here. We're keeping an eye up front as Caddy Damus gets caught by McQuiz as well. Keeping an eye on those gaps. Move back up to the front as McQuiz. He's right on the Williams' tail now. And 2.1 is the gap between himself and Denzamo. Caddy Damus comes in. He's led a few laps of the Grand Prix. Fair play to him. McQuiz takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Denzamo P2. Washi P3. David Ben will take over P4. And Buffon is out of the Italian Grand Prix. What has happened there? That's a retirement. Simple retirement there for the Ferrari team. So the Tifosi not happy with that. But that is racing. So on lap 13 of 27. Everybody has switched on to the soft or medium tyre. And surely these guys will be all going to the end. McQuiz in the driving seat out the front. Seika got a 5-second stop-go penalty for ignoring the yellow flags. So I'm not sure why he got that, but it must have been for passing a slow car of some sort. Dyson into the pit lane and he gets a speeding penalty for that. Naughty boy. And Washi doesn't look like he's able to stick with Denzamo. So it looks like Denzamo's pace on the harder compound tyre is looking better than Washi's. 2.6 the gap between McQuiz and Denzamo, and he is making that gap even larger. Just shows you what the pit stops can do to a race. But that was the mega lap from Denzamo to get out in front of Washi. Seika, our 4th retirement from this Grand Prix. He's gone off at Lesmo 1, straight on, at Lesmo 2, excuse me. And that is another retirement for the Haas team. The other Haas is still running in the points in 9th. Let's see if they can recover from that. Well, I said Washi didn't have the pace. He's now within DRS range of his teammate. And I can't see that Denzamo will fight too hard for this position. But then again, we could be wrong. 3 seconds is now the gap. Back we go to the racing then. Washi now within half a second of his teammate. So with 4 retirements from this Grand Prix so far. Seika, Buffon, Zek and Noodle. And the gap coming down between Denzamo and McQuiz. Be interesting to see if Washi can close that gap. He was quicker in qualifying. But let's see what his lap pace is like. Or his race pace is like. So let's see if Denzamo will play the team game and let Washi through, or will he fight for this position? We'd all like to see him fight for the position as he cuts the corner massively there. So I don't know what Denzamo was doing there, but he completely misjudged the corner. Keeping it on board with their championship leader, 26 points. Separate McQuiz and Washi in the championship. And this would of course bring that gap down. And this is exactly what McQuiz needs. But Washi also needs to keep up the consistent results. And of course the battle between Denzamo and David Ben for third in the championship is well on as well. And right now Denzamo was on to extend that gap. So, on to lap 16 of 27 we go then. 11 laps to go in the Italian Grand Prix, round 13. We only have 6 rounds left of the championship. As I believe that is Jason on his way out of the pit lane. Seeing this tasty battle going on. And I'm just wondering, is Hoink is still going around on the same tyres he started the race on? So he's in 5th currently on 16 lap old softs. So he should be able to go to around lap 20 and then bolt on a set of super softs and set the timing board alight. 3.2 between McQuiz and Denzamo. It's not a massive gap, but the bigger it gets, the harder it'll be for Washi to close it up. And obviously there's no team orders here because Denzamo is not letting Washi through. So, similar to Force India, they're letting them race. He's getting a good slipstream down towards Parabolica now. So I would have to assume a move is going to be lined up shortly to the Rettifilio. Just watching the two Toro Rossos going at it. Running up higher than the Ferraris. And surely a move on here. Closer than he's ever been. Washi is going to try to get into 2nd place here versus his teammate. He's going to move to the outside. Denzamo is defending to the inside. Very late on the brakes. Denzamo lets him through. He assumed he was going to go deep, but Washi holds that like a master and gets into P2. Now he can chase after his championship rival. Hoink finally makes his pit stop. Set of super softs, and will be the only runner on the set of super softs. Kalidemus, we got to say props to him. He started in 14th and is now in 6th after all that mess. Led the race for a short while and is on for a great result. Best result we've seen in a while from him. So the gap we're going to be watching is the one between McQuiz and Washi. So it's been a very, very interesting Grand Prix so far. But I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Belgian Grand Prix for drama. So of course, P1 and P2, 25 points for the win, 18 points for second. This of course means a 7-point gain for McQuiz, which will bring the gap down to 19 points. So then we will have most definitely a championship battle on our hands going into the last 6 rounds. We're going to be heading to Singapore next round. The streets of Singapore at night. And of course we all remember what happened in the real life race between the two Ferraris. And we're hoping this isn't going to happen between the two Toro Rossos, but will make for some interesting viewing nonetheless. So, lap 18 of 27, everything settled down. And now we're just looking at Washi's chase of McQuiz. But whether he can close that gap is questionable. We'll see if David Ben is going to be able to close in on Denzamo as well. The gap is 3.5. Was 4 at one point. So he is closing. Got a yellow flag in Sector 3 as Boniface is our 5th retirement from this race. He's gone off at Ascari. What a shame. But that's going to get Calidamus up into P5 for his troubles. So he's going to finish... Well, we assume he's going to finish 9 positions ahead of where he started, as the same as Hoink, pretty much. And Washi is closing the gap. 2.6. And Ghost Hunter is on for his best finish of the F8 series. He started... he finished the Belgian Grand Prix in 10th on his debut. He's on for a best of 7th. Daniel UK up into 9th as well. And Jason's going to get promoted up to P10, with Dyson currently just outside the points. So 5 retirements from the race, with 12 left running. And Washi is flying. He's starting to put the laps together, as McQuiz maybe starts to struggle with tyre wear. There's the Mercedes leading this Grand Prix. Has led every single lap but 2. But can he hold on to this race win? Was that just a poor lap? I think it was. We're looking at his lap delta, 0.6 of a second down on his best. Washi up on his best. So I think McQuiz just needs to remain consistent. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2 momentarily there as Ghost Hunter goes for a spin on the grass. Down to 8th he'll go and promote Ian up to P7. So I think McQuiz just had a poor lap there. You could see he was 0.6 of a second down on his best. But he's remaining just at arm's length ahead. Just saw Hoink get fastest lap. We have just over 7 laps to go. As Ghost Hunter will get a stop-go penalty. And I think Daniel OK actually began his race on the medium, so he's going to go into some super softs at the end. It's 20 laps on the mediums. As we see Hoink trying to get past Dyson, trying to lap him. So Hoink obviously just banging in some fastest laps right now. And Daniel UK is going to come out in this mess. He wants to make sure he doesn't hold up Washi too much. He gets out of the way as best he can. But in that, he has allowed Denzamo to get right up behind Washi now. 0.3. Now the gap, and Washi down 3.7. So that really has affected him. He went deep at turn 1. and that really hasn't helped him. So McQuiz on for another victory. Washi won last time after McQuiz had a bit of a poor first lap in the rain. But he's on for a very, very, well, I wouldn't say dominant victory, but he's definitely shown that he can hold off the pressure so far. About to go on to lap 22 of 27. So is Denzamo going to be a spanner in the works here, or will he remain behind Washi? So this is going to be, well, McQuiz is on for his 5th victory of the season. Both McQuiz and Washi equal in wins, 4 wins apiece this season. And McQuiz is going to be the first to break the 5th win. Of course, I think Washi may have him beaten on podiums. Washi 8 podiums this season. And well, I say that. Well, they both have 4 wins apiece and 8 podiums apiece. So they're equal in all terms except points in the championship. As Denzamo goes very wide of Ascari and drops behind. But yeah, 4 wins apiece, 8 podiums apiece for McQuiz and Washi. As Hoink makes a move on Kalidamus and gets into 5th place. David Benn still running around in 4th. And is on for another good points finish for Ferrari. Not quite the podium. But if something does happen to one of the guys up front, he'll be there. So, as each lap goes by, McQuiz is looking more and more likely to take this victory. So, we've 5 laps to go, and Daniel OUK gets a stop-go penalty for ignoring the blue flags, and that was in letting David Benn through. Kalidamus is trying to stick with Hoink here, trying to see how he gets on. If he can get back past, he may be able to, because Hoink has been pushing very hard on those super softs, trying to get fastest laps, but Kalidamus has a big lock up into the second chicane, and that'll be that. 4 laps remain in the Italian Grand Prix. So, a very, very interesting race. Probably the race where we've seen the top 3, the top 4, so evenly matched and remain so close together in the space of this race. They're all still within about 5 seconds of each other. They're all still within camera shot. But so close yet so far, pretty much. McQuiz has done everything he's needed to do. Washi started on pole, but McQuiz got an amazing start, hooked it up. And there's a bit of a squeezing match going on through turn 1 between himself, Boniface, and David Benn. But the race isn't over yet. We still have another 3 laps to go. And there they are. They're all within camera shot of each other, but the length of a straight is a long one. It's a long time gap. So McQuiz can afford to just back off, save some fuel if he needs to. These guys will probably be maybe marginal on tyre wear now as we come towards the end. David Ben sets fast lap of the Grand Prix on a 1:23.7, and he has very, very much closed up to the back of Denzamo there. So I said they weren't going to get a podium, but they may well be on for one. Tifosi are getting behind him. And let's see if David Ben can steal a podium in the dying laps for Ferrari. And in so doing, get himself closer to that third position in the championship. "12 points separate himself and Denzamo. Denzamo on to extend that gap. That was all pretty much down to a disconnection for David Ben at one of the races. But currently, the only two drivers to finish every single race in the points is... Well, that's it for David Ben's charge. He's got a 3-second penalty. As I was saying, the only drivers to finish every single race in the points is Washi. And, of course, Ian, right here. He's on to score even more points and continue his tally. And Ian's had a best finish of 4th this season, remember, back in China. But Washi has only had one, as I said before, he's only had one finish outside the top 5 this season. And he is closing in on McQuiz. He's 2.3 behind, but is it going to be enough? We've got Denzamo gets a 3-second time penalty, so David Ben can continue his charge because the time penalties cancel each other out. So this is still for position. Caddy is still sticking with Hoink there, so that battle isn't over because his tyres will be getting very worn. I would not count this battle over just yet. If McQuiz makes a mistake, then Washi can jump at the chance. Gap is under 2 seconds. They both made their pit stops on the same lap. And with 1.8 as the gap now, we're going on to the final lap at Monza. Round 13 of the F8 series. 6 rounds left to go after this one. And the championship is coming to an interesting climax. The gap between Washi and McQuiz currently, as it stands, is 26, but it's about to come down to 19 if McQuiz can hold on for this victory. Washi is on a massive charge currently. 1.7 is now the gap, and David Ben is still charging away if he can get in front of Denzamo. And he's 0.6 behind, so in the dying lap, can David Ben get a podium for Ferrari? Riding on board them, Denzamo makes a mistake! And through goes David Ben! And the Tifosi are on their feet as he takes the podium. And can he hold on? Denzamo couldn't stand the pressure. And with the penalties, they both have a penalty, so that is for position. And David Ben is about to take a podium in the dying laps for Scuderia Ferrari at their home Grand Prix. And McQuiz is about to upset Scuderia Toro Rosso, the Italian fans. 1.4 is the gap. If there was more laps, then Washi could have done it. But coming through the Parabolica for the final time, and to bring the championship gap even lower, McQuiz is going to win the Italian Grand Prix for Mercedes Grand Prix. Washi will come across the line P2, and David Ben for Scuderia Ferrari will take P3. Tifosi on their feet. Hoink and Caddy Damas are going to take P5 and P6 in what is a stellar display of driving for the both of them there. Ian is going to continue his points run of finishing every single race in the points, and is going to finish in 7th position. What a race that is. David Ben snatches a podium on the last lap for Ferrari. So 2 Italian teams will stand on the podium today as, oh my god, what on earth has just gone on there? So well done to McQuiz. The Estonian takes a 5th victory for Mercedes. But Toro Rosso are on to win the Constructors' Championship very shortly. And David Ben will be absolutely delighted with that. Denzama will be gutted with that. Just a mistake, a small little... too eager with the throttle, and ended up handing that podium to David Ben. But it is McQuiz's day once again. For the 5th time he stands atop the podium. 3 different teams on the podium today. McQuiz is on a charge for the championship. Can he get in front of Washi in the championship? Find out in the next coming rounds. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time in Singapore. Bye bye.